Healing crystals, skincare routines, knitting a sweater, fitting in jeans. With Katie and Sarah, no need to worry, you're on a lady journey.
I guess we should just get started. It's kind of like a little awkward, you know?
I find starting anything to be one of the hardest things. Like whenever we do stand up.
Yes.
And I'm always like, God, it's so weird to just go up on stage and start talking when no one knows me.
It really
weird.
is. It's like going up to a stranger and being like, the other day, and they're like, you don't introduce yourself.
No, it's quite obnoxious.
It really is.
Yeah.
The whole art form is a nightmare.
It is. And that's why we've gotten into podcasting.
Welcome to Lady Journey.
Hi. This is the first installment of...
This is the first step of the journey.
Yes. Should we tell our new journeymen or women?
Let's tell them everything. So I'm Katie Hannigan, and you're Sarah Talamash.
Yes.
And we are both stand-up comedians, and we've known each other for, I was trying to think of when I met you, and I think that I had a bar show in 2011, 10 or 11, and I think I had you on it. It was called The Love Triangle.
Yes. Was that with Julia Johns?
This one was actually, I just did it by myself. And
Okay.
Julia and I had a show later. And I remember I saw you at the Creek and the Cave at an open mic, and you had a great joke. And this is dating both of us, but you said, I just got a new Kindle. And you said, it's kind of like a Scoodle. That was your joke. You were describing a made-up word with another made-up word. And I just thought it was hilarious.
Oh, thank you. God.
I know.
When you tell me that, I'm like, who was I back then? Totally different person.
You're a person with a Kindle.
Yeah, that is, it's so weird. A lot of the times with friends, I'm always like, I don't remember how we met, but it's been a blessing.
It's been a long blessing.
Yeah. And also, I think we're always bonded by like the ridiculousness of the business.
Yes, comedy is utterly ridiculous.
Yeah, the people are chaotic and
unstable.
Yeah, they need to be called out more and held accountable for their horrific actions.
But this is not what that podcast is about. This is a lifestyle podcast.
So this is Lady Journey.
We think it's a great palate cleanser if you have watched, if you've just listened to or binged a bunch of murder podcasts. This is a great follow-up to that because it's lifestyle, it's fashion.
It's all about I feel like as a woman or a lady or a
person on a journey,
I think we go on so many personal journeys on a weekly basis. I know I do, and I'm pretty sure that you do.
Oh, yeah. You start the day, you're feeling good, you spiral, and then by the end of the night, you're back up. You're back on top.
And then you think the next day you're really going to get on top of it again.
And you never do.
Never do. That's the joke.
That's the joke.
Yeah. So
it's also a little bit of a travel blog, too, because we both travel a lot. We have a trip to Houston coming up, which is where you're from.
Yes. We're doing the road, and, a lot of ladies travel and
yes, and packing. Packing's important. Well,
yes.
I want to tell you a story because I have been kind of sitting on this actually since I came over. We've been talking all morning.
Yes, we kind of blow our load before the podcast where you're like, we should always
stop chatting.
I know, I have a bad problem with it.
I can never stop. Okay, well, this is my story. So last night I was at the Comedy Cellar, which, as you know, I was past there recently.
Yes,
and it's now becoming thank you, and it's now become my identity, cellar comic. I'm there Thursday at 2 a.m. So,
yes.
So I was at the cellar and I was going on, and I went to the bathroom, and there was a dude in the bathroom. In the ladies' room. And I was like, oh my God. But then I was like, I checked myself. I was like, that's not a dude. And clearly I need to do some work on myself. And then as I was peeing in the stall, I heard the girl came out of the stall next to me and she goes, Ryan, what are you doing in here? He was like, what? She was like, this is the ladies' room. And then I was like, yeah, get the fuck out.
Yeah, I love that you were just like, we're now in a time period where we're just like, anything goes.
Yeah.
And then you realize you're just like, wait, no.
I could have helped a confused man.
Yeah.
But instead, I assumed that I was the problem.
Yeah. But why is it? Don't you feel like it is a really interesting thing? This is where I did not expect our podcast to go, but like, why is it weird to go to the restroom with a strange man in there?
Right. Like there are so many other bathrooms, especially in New York now, that are, anybody can go in there and then you have communal hand washing and you don't think twice about it.
Don't think twice. I don't think twice about when a lady's in the restroom with me and she's doing the same business that a guy is doing in the restroom.
Yeah.
But I don't feel as like threatened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the thing though. Sometimes you go into a guy's bathroom and boy, it smells bad in there.
Oh, it's a wreck.
It's
I don't know what they do in there. There's no doors on anything.
What on earth are they doing in there? And
it's
you go
wild.
in the ladies' room and you're like, well, this is,
yeah,
this is good. I used to do a work study at a yoga studio. It was called Yoga Sutra. And it was in Midtown, and so I would like clean out the bathrooms and stuff, and the ladies' room was gorgeous and the men's room was always absolutely gross.
I think part of me, the theory is maybe the reason why guys don't take as long as ladies do is because they don't clean after themselves. Like,
yes,
I'm all wiping the toilet seat down
before
and after.
Oh yeah, if you sprinkle when you tinkle.
Which is also like I feel like a PSA would be if we all sat on the toilet seat, there would be no sprinkle.
Yeah.
Or tinkle on the...
Well, see, I have a theory about that because I think what happens is like there's a drop. There's one drop on there and then you're like, well, I'm not sitting on the drop.
Absolutely. And you're like...
So then you have to squat and then there's another drop. And then it is the tragedy of the commons.
Yeah, we're like, well, here we go. This is where we're at now.
This is where we've come to. Climate change is ruining the earth.
Yes. Well, here's where I become a hero. I don't care anymore, and I clean up, even if it's a lot of pee on the seat.
But don't you get nervous about, because when you're in the doctor's office, you always see that bin that's like health hazard. You know?
But then I do wash my hands afterwards, and then I thought about it. Well, I guess I'm like wiping, but I'm not wiping with my bare hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, like an animal.
It would be nicer if they had more of the like little toilet covers.
Yes, if we could just but then, nothing's on. Nobody's like checking the bathroom and making sure everything is stocked.
No.
And especially in public restrooms.
Especially in New York. And, now, I mean, people are basically going pee on the street here now. So it's like
anything
a sprinkle
goes.
is the least of your worries right now.
It's wild. Should we just like get into our own personal journeys that we've been on lately?
Let's get into our personal journeys. Shall I go first?
Yeah, I'd love to hear what what you're up to.
Thank you. I did actually go on a physical journey. I went on a 10-day trip to Portland. I went down to LA, and then I went back up to Washington to Bellingham, Washington. And I went to buy some luggage that day, and I was like, okay, I went to TJ Maxx, I went to Marshall's, I went to Nordstrom Rack, all my spots. Nobody had the suitcase I wanted. And of course, I'm shopping like the day I'm leaving. So I decided that I was just going to pack for the full 10-day trip with my FJALLRAVEN KANKEN. And
that's the that's
my
fancy
backpack
at Urban Outfitters that you see a lot, right?
It's very fancy, and I got mine on Amazon on sale. And so I'm very passionate about packing light. So I have like packing cubes. So I used 2 packing cubes for my clothes, and I put them right in, and then I packed 1 small makeup bag, and then I did also pack a handbag. Oh, because I think I also hadn't paid for luggage, so I didn't want to take like a gigantic suitcase. But also when you're traveling that much, I don't want to drag a giant suitcase. I was like taking the bus everywhere, so I packed for 10 days in a backpack, and I had my computer in there. I had about 4 outfits, and the only low point for me, I did do laundry halfway through, and I was like standing in the laundromat in a skirt with no panties on, and I was like, I wish I had just put one more pair of a safety pair of panties,
When I do packing for underwear, I go Monday, Tuesday, and then however many days I'm going, and then I'm like, and then 2 for the road.
2 for the road. That's a good 2 panty minimum.
But then I've been in like issues where I don't know. All of a sudden I realize, oh shit, these are underwear that I've had for 20 years. And then I'm like, I decide to go underwear shopping on the road. I have so many, I buy them in packs.
Yeah.
It's not sexy.
Oh, no.
But I actually am like really into granny panties right now.
I am too. Oh my gosh, I didn't know this about you.
Such a boner killer, but I'm like, I love granny panties for some reason.
That big cotton bag. Those big cotton bags, I mean, they feel great.
They feel great. And then there's a little bit of me that feels like it's like pinup girl sexy, but I actually feel like in my mind, like Joe's like, no.
Well, I have some sexy underwear they're like my relics from when I was dating, and I would just be like, I'm wearing this.
Yeah.
And I only ever wear them when I completely run out of panties, and then I'm like, I have to wear them to force myself to do laundry because I'm like, I'm so uncomfortable.
Yes.
I have to go drop my laundry off right now.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of good in a way. It's like a warning.
It forces you to get up and do what you need to.
Yeah.
Oh, like that should be our tip for the day. It's like
That
always
is
have one bad fitting underwear.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
you need to do laundry, just wear a thong, and then you'll be like, I can't even sit.
Yeah. I've got to do some cleaning for sure. I actually also really like packing cubes.
Oh God, they're so delicious.
Well, because when your suitcase can get like all kinds of crazy in it, but at least if
Oh.
you have you're only doing compartments that
Yes.
can get kind of hectic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I take my FJALLRAVEN KANKEN actually with me a lot. I took it on a trip to St. Louis. I took it on a trip to Raleigh. I'll just, if I'm going for a weekend, which is often the amount that I travel, this was a big trip for me, but I'll just put my show outfit, my day outfit, I only take one pair of shoes, which I know like that's basically criminal to some people, but
Yeah.
I just wear sneakers, and then I just do yoga. I don't really like work out, but
Yeah, so you don't have to bring like a crazy amount of like you
It's
don't
just
have to do
easier.
big sneakers that your
Yeah.
running sneakers that take up a huge part of your suitcase.
yeah.
And you can just do it anywhere in your hotel room. It's the easiest
Yoga's the best travel exercise.
best travel exercise, and you can always just find one on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I follow a great woman. It's 5 Parks Yoga, and
Yes.
she's fantastic.
Yes. I got into yoga to the people,
Oh yeah, I've been
and then
there.
I found out they had controversy.
Oh, really?
Kind of like a light Me Too situation. The guy that does it is like really weird.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can totally.
And they
see
make you
that.
do like 10,000 hour seminars, or like you have to clock in that much so you can get paid like $15 an hour.
Ooh,
Yeah. So kind of weird stuff like that.
that's awkward.
But they do have good guided YouTube.
I
yoga
didn't realize
stuff.
they had YouTube stuff, because
Yeah.
I used to go to the studio, but then it was always. I actually have like a lot of. I think issues with taking yoga classes. I just get triggered by the teacher. Like if they joke too much, I'm like, I
Yes.
can't handle it.
How about like
As a professional humorist, like please just stay in your lane for God's sakes. I need to stretch my lower back.
absolutely, or sometimes they fit in like weird political agendas.
Oh,
and I know
don't
what
get me
side they're on,
started.
and I'm on the same side of them, but I'm like, can we just not throw this in here at this time? It makes me like, why are you bringing in this kind of energy?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yoga people is a whole other episode.
Yeah, we'll
That's
get into
gonna-
that.
But
For
you
sure.
said are you going vegetarian?
Yes.
Oh, you are? I didn't realize that.
But I can't do vegan because I love cheese and I
Oh,
got to
I
eat
love it.
eggs, and that's just like the easiest way to get protein.
Yeah.
But I'm not against eating animal meat or whatever. I'm just I don't think our farming practices are great.
Yeah.
So if you hunt and eat your meat, at least that animal had like somewhat of a nice life.
Yeah.
But I'm also in that state of like vegetarianism where I don't want anyone to know. Because it's like, it's so hard to work around. I don't want to show up to a holiday trip and they're like, for like Thanksgiving, they're like, well, we found out that you don't eat meat. And then they buy you.
So we got
like,
you a giant ball of tofu. Have you ever had the tofurkey? Oh,
no.
I was vegetarian for about 7 years.
Yeah.
And my parents would get it for me. And it's just the tofurkey, it's foul. And I would eat it every year like, this is good.
It's like matter.
It's a
Food matter.
sphere of tofu, and then inside there is like a cranberry stuffing, which is so strange.
No,
It's not good. And but I do agree with you about the farming practices, though. It's really hard to. I mean, I'm kind of at the point where I'm just doing like Trader Joe's organic stuff, and that's like because I did find I kind of where I'm at in my life. I just want to eat meat. I'm saying it like I am a terrible person. I'm like, I just like it. And but I'm eating meat right now, so no judgment on myself, which I'm clearly having.
And occasionally I will have meat because it's hard to get around. You show up to a place and they're like, we only have pepperoni pizza. And you don't want to be I hate being that person like,
oh yeah,
I'm better than you.
I can't have this.
I feel like when you come in with your like, I don't eat meat and I'm already like not a drinker.
Yeah.
So then I have two things against me at a hang or a family function that I'm like, I'd rather just eat the meat. And it's not like I'm disgusted by it. It's just, I do feel like eventually we're all going to be like, did you know that my grandmother used to eat meat? Kind of like owning slaves.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we probably will. I feel like we're moving towards that. And then some people are moving completely in the opposite direction with like McDonald's.
I get it.
But you kind of did a 180 because last summer you were keto.
Always 180.
Next summer you're going to be all meat. I only eat meat now.
Yeah, just straight bacon. Like the only animal that's probably the closest to human intelligence.
You know what? Every time I eat bacon, I'm like, I'm going to stop.
But it's
because I used to teach preschool, and they say that the pigs have the mentality of 3-year-olds, and that was the age of my students. I'm like, well, I just ate Roger. I just ate Roger so I could have a good breakfast.
I know, and he's so yummy.
So good.
Bacon is one. It's like it's really good. But I've eaten at there's that restaurant that's by the cellar that's vegan, Chloe.
Oh, I have
their
been
chain.
Past there
I think
before.
In the city, it's really good, and she has a Caesar salad where they use mushrooms that they taste like
mushrooms are great.
Bacon. And my friend was like, "That's meat appropriation."
What?
He's joking.
Oh. It's like, is the meat getting mad and the meat's mad?
They're mad. Like, but it is like really funny to be like, well, if I'm just like eating vegetables that people are making it taste like meat, then maybe I should just go eat meat.
Yeah, it's fun to be wrong.
Yeah.
Know? Well,
it is fun. It is very fun to be wrong.
I love it. Well, I'm a guilty person, so I'm like, I guess I did that. But have you ever been to Quantum Leap? That's my favorite vegetarian restaurant in the Village. Is
that on? No, I'm newly vegetarian, so really I'll go just at a restaurant and eat. I don't go to like strictly vegetarian places.
This place is great. They have a veggie burger that will knock your socks off.
That's the thing. Like I just had an Impossible Burger recently, and I was like, "This is really good."
I haven't had those yet. I'd like to have one.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I don't know what the hell's in it.
They do a science on it, and I'm not sure. I sound like an expert.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's called the magic of science, as far as I know.
Well, can I just say for Lady Journey, we can just we'll throw out facts that we don't even know about.
Oh, I love being careless make that disclaimer because I do a thing, especially when I'm in like conversation with people, when you're like doing small talk, I'm like, yeah, well, Mark Twain actually died of AIDS. And people are like, what?
And yeah. Like, and then you're like, I don't know.
I'm thinking of Ryan White.
Or you're like, did I dream that?
Yes.
Yeah.
My worst one was, have you ever had like your eye spasm?
Yes.
I thought that was from not getting enough salt in your diet. And so
really?
I would
that
tell
makes
people,
sense.
That's not true, though. It's not true. It's from eye strain.
Wild.
So I'd be like, better eat some chips. But it's from me not wearing my glasses, my eyes popping off. I'm like, I gotta get chips.
Yeah.
I'm low in chips.
Well, that's like my sister one time, I got like a cold sore right here. I call them little potato chip cuts because it's like a little paper kit thing. And my sister's like, you need like a probiotic or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
She's just throwing out that information. She's like, what I do is she's like telling me you should put yogurt on it. So I was putting yogurt on my cold sore. And then I told her, I was like months later, I'm like, I've been putting yogurt, and I was like, doesn't do anything. She's like, you're supposed to eat it. I'm like, oh, so I was using it as topical.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then also that's when I'm like, I actually believe also all these like holistic skincare stuff
Oh yeah.
is bullshit. Like
Oh,
putting
it totally
avocado
is.
on your face.
You're just putting it on.
You're just, yeah, it doesn't do any benefits to you whatsoever.
Yeah, it's snake oil.
Yeah, it's all snake oil.
yogurt.
But then that's another lady journey we can.
That's so lady
We have
journey.
so many. Oh my God, guys, I am so excited to hear everybody's lady journeys.
Yes, guys should email us. What's our email address?
ladyjourneypodcast@gmail.
ladyjourneypodcast@gmail. We want to do a lot of audience interaction, and I was thinking maybe one thing that would be fun, we could do the mansplainer of the week.
Yes.
So if you have, because I mean, God knows I have, every time I post a tweet that's like, I love handbags, I get a women aren't funny. I'm like, okay, did you think this was for you, Carl?
Yeah, or something that you are like. I will post I like trying to practice playing guitar because I'm on another lady journey that we'll talk about in another episode.
A musical lady journey.
I'll post it on there, and it's really like doing, what is that, like bullhorn? Not a bullhorn, but like just blowing into the horn of like, come explain to me how to play guitar.
Oh, yes.
Where I'm like, I'm not super serious about it, but I get a lot of like, your tuning's off a little bit, and that's not the right chord progression that you're playing.
Pandora's box of testosterone.
Yeah, it's like, if I'm not feeling enough attention that day, I just put on like myself playing a song on guitar not too well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were telling me about that, and you said that men will also be like, that's pretty good.
Yeah. And I think mansplaining has taken over, that I don't even use the word complaining anymore.
No.
Or explaining.
Yeah.
It's all mansplaining. Like,
It's all mansplaining.
I'll be
If
like,
a
oh my
woman
God, I mansplain.
Splains.
It's mansplaining.
I say splaining.
Yeah.
I go in the opposite direction. I'm like, someone's splaining to me.
Well, that's gender neutral.
Well, then in that case, it could be the splainer of the week.
Yeah.
If you want to send in, because, we're down to make fun of women on the internet too. But
Yeah.
I think it should.
We're getting on that board.
Yes, we are. Equality. Hello.
Yeah.
But I think it should be like, okay, if you want to send in, send us a screenshot of the splainer.
Yes.
And then
We'll roast 'em.
We'll read it, but we won't. We'll roast them, but we will not reveal their identity, because
Yes.
there are psychos out there.
Unless you want us to.
Unless you want us to, and then okay.
I'm all for throwing out chaos into the internet.
Yeah, and if you've been harassed by a male comedian, just tell us everything, and we'll confront him on video.
Yeah, that'll be our cameo.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, so you know what I saw recently that was really good? Have you seen the Lularich documentary?
Yes, and it's all of that stuff is right up my alley.
It's right up my alley, because I'm like, ooh, who doesn't want an insane looking pair of leggings?
What happened? Where were we? Doesn't it feel like in the midst of like 2010? When was it? Like it went all the way
Yeah.
to 2016, around when I guess Trump was elected, that things like everything got called out all of a sudden.
Right,
There was a
right.
reckoning. I don't understand. At the time, you're just like, I didn't think anything of it, but there was a time period where like, wow, we're really into leggings right now.
Yeah, it was like the odds.
Yeah.
And now you look back, you're like, so much was wrong. The transition to skinny jeans around 2005, it took me a little while, but then like the jeggings, like those were
Weird.
just jean leggings. Like, who are we as a country?
It made me feel like it gave me a frog body.
Yes,
Like
they were
a big on top and then like legs dragging behind me.
patently unflattering.
Yes.
And I love the story of the Lularich. I love the story of like, just coming up with a business and like selling dresses out of the back of your van while you raise your kids Christian. But the funny thing to me about that documentary was it just got so dark so quickly. And then there were so many women that were coming out like, well, it was a bad business. And then as you watch, first of all, you're like, well, okay, not to judge, but you're kind of dumb, right? Because it's I'm going to turn my spare bedroom into a leggings warehouse. It's like, well, what were you thinking?
I know. Also,
not to victim blame. They got taken advantage of. But at the same time, you're like, okay, leggings?
yeah, like to invest your life savings. And that would, to me, if I told my family that, hey, can I borrow $10,000 so it can invest into leggings. They'd be like, absolutely not.
Yeah, no. Oh, no.
Yeah, that would not even be like a venture that I would bring out to them.
But I love the women too who were like they were being interviewed. I'm thinking of the woman in the plaid. I can't remember her name, but
the designer, right? The graphic designer.
Oh no, she was great though.
Okay, yeah.
The graphic designer was hilarious when she was like, "Yeah, I mean, I guess people want bad leggings."
Yes.
You know, I guess these moms want bad leggings.
I mean, how many times we've all worked for a company that we're probably not like supportive of what they do.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I'm thinking of this other woman. She was like a mom, and she was going on and on about how like Lularich Lulu took advantage of her. She wasted all this money. And then it's like towards the end of the documentary, it's revealed that she also took advantage of a lot of other people. And then she's like, well, I'm not giving the money back and I'm still doing it. It's like, what?
Oh, that was the one I was shocked about. There's still people that are selling Lululemon leggings.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're still into like, I don't. Also, those leggings are so out of style. They're ugly.
They're you know, some of them, honestly, I like the part where they were like, that's my unicorn, where you like decide you find. I'm like, okay, that's something I would do.
Yeah.
Where I just like get obsessed with like finding the one print that I like. And in the process, I end up buying 80 pairs of leggings that look terrible.
Yeah, that was the thing that I thought was weird too. It seemed like a scam when they're like, you never know what you're going to get. Where you're like, oh, because it sounds like they just make it en masse and get all their material like lumped over in China and just make it as fast as they can and just throw in 20 garments into a bag and not even care. And then they make it seem like this is our business model.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like classic. That's like, I feel like a classic MLM spin,
Gaslighting.
Right? I remember they did it on Samantha Bee. That was how I heard of it. And, you know, they were showing the pictures of the ones where it was like the print just ended up like overlapping on your vagina. So it looks like insane. Like you have a giant, like it's like a hot dog.
Yeah, going right
on your clam.
Going straight into your vagina.
Yeah, I hope I get the hot dog ones.
Just showing up to an event. And then it's just like, I always am fascinated. Do they start with the intent of being cult-like, or does that naturally happen to you? Like, are we going to become a cult?
I hope so, because I'd love to make money. I'd love to.
Guys, join our cult.
Yeah, you can start your own podcast.
Yeah.
But I feel like podcasting is an MLM in a way, because I was looking at some like startup guides, and it's like, you start your podcast and then buy our startup. It's like, oh no.
Yeah, any time of like buy into, you have to buy my book in order to be part of our business.
It's not good.
Yeah, it's not good.
Well, in the first episode of the Lularich documentary, one of the things that really stuck with me was the guy he's the expert on MLMs, and he's like, any MLM, there's only about, I forget what he says, but it's like 16, there's only about 12 or like 16 layers before it has to literally be every single person in the entire world.
Yeah.
So it's like these people that are starting it up, they're smart enough to create a business plan, but they're too dumb to realize that they need that many people.
Yes.
To keep it going. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because one lady was like, within like a small town, there was like 10 of them.
Yeah, so you're like competing with your sister who like you onboarded. You're like,
yeah.
Ugh. And I hated the woman who was the like, you know, head legging mom, whoever she was. I liked her. She was classy. But you know, she
the one
was
that
like
started the business.
Yeah, but she was like so submissive to her husband, and he was just so gross.
That's where it all becomes kind of cult like too, is because they all become submissive to their husbands, because it ended up being like the guy would take over the business and be the one that was really the one selling it, while she did all like the orders and like,
which makes no sense, because it's like a guy's running a legging business now. Like, down is up is down.
Yeah.
But the husband, I could not stand him. He was like, well, guess you're just not getting out there trying hard enough. It's like there's 4 people in the town and we all sell leggings.
Yeah, and this whole town has been annihilated with awful leggings.
Yeah, we're in Flint, Michigan, okay? We're buying bottled water and we're trying to sell leggings, and we can't because we're not in, because I think like part of the reason I think that business model works for somebody who is, for example, Mormon, is because you're tapped into
It's a huge network.
You're tapped into a huge network of people that want to support, you know, Mormon businesses,
Especially like moms that can't work.
Yeah,
Because they have to be stay at home and be like stay at home moms. It's a perfect business for this.
It's a perfect business. And then, but like if you're a mom who's like not tapped into a network like that, if you're like a single mom who's also trying to like get her kids to school,
Yeah.
you know, and you don't have that social network to fall back on, it's like that those are the people that are really getting scammed out of it.
That's the part where I was trying to put myself in their shoes, and I realized I would be the girl that spent all the money on leggings and be like, I can't get it. Also, I don't have the personality type to go on Facebook Live every day and talk about my product as I'm really excited about my new pizza leggings. Like I can barely promote myself.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too, is like we're always told as women that we're not working hard enough. It's like we work as a gender, we work much harder than men, and then they will just tell you like, oh well, you're not working hard enough. So then you end up blaming yourself for not working hard enough, when the fact is like the cards are stacked against you.
Yeah.
You know, men get out there and sell leggings like it's not, no.
Yeah, but they don't have to do like, you know, the feeding and the cooking and
Right.
the cleaning as much, and, you know, all that household duties. That's kind of time consuming.
Yeah. I saw this thing on Netflix that said it was like a gender documentary or something, and it said that women still do like 50% more.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in a religious household where you're like expected to be submissive, like you're doing everything.
It is really hard, because I also say I know there's a lot of, you know how there's like not all men. I want to be like not all men, but most men.
Right.
That should be the hashtag.
Right. Not all men, but most men.
Yeah.
That's great. We should get it going for Lady Journey. We're cooking.
This is a hot episode. Also, I want to always say, like, I don't hate guys. I just hate the institution of men.
The patriarchy.
Yeah.
So hateable.
It is.
So hateable.
Absolutely. But yeah, it always feels like the person that cares the most loses in the household duty section.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It's the same thing as I think, you know, when you're living with like dirty roommates, you know. That's why I would always try to live with people who had the same idea of cleanliness as I do, because sometimes you live with somebody and you're like, oh, this person never does their dishes, and then you end up either you have to like adjust to living a dirty life, or you have to do their dishes.
Yes.
And it's the same thing with like a relationship, I think, where it's like, you know, some men, you know, I do like more cleaning in our apartment, I would say.
Yeah, I do the like bathroom cleaning and like but Joe's really good about the vacuuming, but I like to tidy.
Mike, I give him little jobs.
Yeah.
And he does his little jobs, and he does good. He does.
And you put a star on the board for him.
I literally do. I'm like, you got a star today, babe. I wouldn't have a cleaning lady to my home if it was dirty. I would clean it. You know, I'm like, there's no way I'm letting anyone see that.
Yes.
And also, I feel kind of weird about getting a you know, you say cleaning lady, that's like a euphemism. It's a maid. I've always felt weird about it. I had one time when I lived with a couple girls, and it was just the easiest thing to do. But
yeah, it does feel uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable. And, you know, I think as a white woman, I feel like even when Mike's cleaning lady would come over, I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like,
yeah, let me help.
Yeah, can I get a call? I'm like, you know, don't judge me.
Yeah.
This is my boyfriend's place, so that's why I'm not cleaning it. But
yeah, because that would be insane.
It would be insane.
Yeah.
And I did clean. I cleaned a little bit when I was there during the pandemic, but I think like, you know, I am a type of person where it's like, I don't let my apartment go for like, you know,
I'll hit
months.
There's a tipping point, but it never really gets like out of control. Like I try to, but I do notice this about guys, and I think it's because they make more money than us. A lot of the times, especially in our business.
Yeah.
They outsource. Joe's all about getting the.
Yeah, I know. See,
and I'm like, I would love to. I do like the idea of outsourcing. Like, I love that we do in New York. You drop your laundry off.
Yeah, I do drop the laundry.
That
off
is a
now.
luxury that I've gotten used to, and I will move all my funds around to get my laundry dropped off.
It does feel good. It feels good to be like, I'm so busy I can't clean.
Yeah,
which I'm not. But hey,
yeah.
Once this takes off. So now it's almost really time for us to wrap up, but I had a little kind of a fun thing that I thought we could do. I've downloaded several photos of wine pillows, and I thought maybe
Yes.
we could review some of them.
You know how a lot of reading gets done on pillows.
I do most of my reading on pillows.
Yeah.
I love like if our civilization, if and when it eventually collapses, then like these explorers are just gonna find like wine pillows one day and like there was a phenomenon.
They didn't keep time. It was wine o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like they're at excavating a TJ Maxx and they're like, we found an ancient library and it's just wine pillows.
Oh my God. The idea of like our civilization getting dug up is going to be so embarrassing.
So embarrassing.
So embarrassing. Especially these pillows.
Wait,
So I'm probably gonna show some images on our video.
I think I can definitely like edit some of these in too, so our friends can see our new followers,
Now,
our journeyers.
there's nothing. I'm all for it. You do whatever makes you happy on the lady journey. If this is the journey that you're
a drinking
on,
problem, just go for it. Okay. Well,
I
that's what
love
I love
a drug
about
addiction as a
wine
lady journey.
pillows are that's what I love about the wine pillows. They're like enabling decor, enabling decor. Right?
Yes, because a lot of times, like the wine culture in the lady department, sometimes I'm like borderlines on like,
I know, it's like, hey, well, this pillow actually, this pillow says wine,
it's a
a noun, a hug in a glass, and it's like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Bridget, do you need a hug, sister?
And also like funny to put that on the pillow, like a light scream for help.
No one's touched me in years except my Pinot.
Just like you're just doing like decor, like little signs of help around the apartment.
I love it. I know. It's like if anyone ever came over, they
Yeah.
would know how alone I am. That's definitely a pillow you keep in your studio apartment.
Yeah.
I have a
It's,
lot here, but we'll only have time to do.
I appreciate long sayings on a
I know.
like, whoa, what's happening on this is a paragraph.
Oh, yeah. Let me find a really good one.
Oh, what's that one?
Oh, okay. This one's pretty good. It says, life happens, wine helps.
Okay.
That one, you know what? Short and sweet.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I actually don't know if I 100% agree with this. As somebody who, I like drinking wine, but I get terrible hangover anxiety. So I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know if this is helping at all. I think
Yeah.
it's hurting a lot.
Well, it should have like in small little letter, like underneath it, like the Xanax the next day helps
Yeah.
way more. But it's also like that one's weird because there's nothing witty about it. It's just coming straight out
Yes.
with it. Like,
yeah, it's like, I don't want any nuance in my wine saying. I just want people to know that it helps me get by.
on a pillow.
On a pillow.
Yeah.
Oh, how about this one? This one is, talk about a cry for help, okay? This one just says liquid therapy.
Well, okay. Because I feel like I'm right now into adult coloring books.
Yes. Those are very therapeutic.
They are. But like to put that on a pillow, like adult coloring helps me get through my life. Like people would be so weirded out if I put
Yeah.
that on a pillow.
Yes.
Yeah.
But wine, for some reason, it's become a totally accepted trope of our society that it's like, I just want a pillow to let people know that wine helps me.
Yeah. It's just like, where's that home decor? Like, I'm looking for something that lets people know what my issues are.
Yeah. I like liquid therapy because I think if anything, wine is the exact opposite of therapy. It's like
it's drowning it.
Yeah.
I'm covering it all up.
This one says, what's this one?
That's the
Oh.
other thing. Not this is original hot take, but isn't it always weird that like having a beer in the shower is problematic, but like a wine in the bathtub, nice,
Romantic.
lovely, like
Ah.
wow, well deserved and not a problem there.
You know what? It's so interesting because as you're saying that, like you get these little glimpses of your own like social biases. And I was like, beer in the shower. Ugh. But then when you said wine in the tub, I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
How about tonight,
Ooh,
bitch?
yeah.
Treat yourself. Yeah. A beer in the shower. I mean, that's such a thing too of like college.
Yeah. Like
Ugh.
I need to pregame and I need to get this fast while I'm getting ready.
Oh, but wine in the tub. Oh, you
Relax.
love
You
it.
deserve it. You've had a hard week.
You deserve it, girl. Well, I do like taking a bath.
I don't mind this one, resting wine face. At least it plays on the resting bitch face. There's a little bit of cleverness
There's
to
a little
it.
cleverness, but I'm asking myself, what is a resting wine
It's
face? I mean,
bad.
is it drool?
It's
Is it
bad.
just,
Yeah, it's a slurring. A lot of even maybe racial slurs are coming out at that time.
yeah, a resting Karen wine face.
Yeah.
Well, that's the last one we have time for, and unfortunately, we need
God.
to start wrapping up.
Guys,
Actually,
if you come across some really wonderful wine decor,
send us the wine decor, and it doesn't have to be a pillow either, because I love a plaque too. Just right at the door of your home
yes,
to let people know what this house is about.
what they're going through.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's like a what's that thing on the door the door of the Jewish home? We have one at our house actually.
Oh, that little
the mezuzah.
lever?
The mezuzah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like that, but with something to let people know you're an alcoholic.
Yeah, that screams. Yeah.
Help.
So if you guys reach out to us at Lady Podcast or ladyjourneypodcast at gmail, let us know. Give us some wine pillows. Tell us about your journeys.
Tell us about your lady journey. Send us your splainers.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yes.
this is a new podcast, so we're just getting it off the ground. But I think, I'm a narcissist and I'm open about it. But I think
Yes.
it's going to be pretty good. Okay.
I
We're
love
great.
admitting the narcissism.
We're
I'm there
great.
with you.
Yes.
Yes.
And this is a great lifestyle podcast, and we want you guys to all come on the journey with us, improving yourself, loving yourself, having a great life,
And laughing at the journeys.
and laughing at the journeys.
Living and laughing and loving.
And follow us. Please rate and review, even if you're just listening to one. If you're a woman, just rate us and review us and be like, hey, I'm helping women, okay?
Yeah.
Just give us a little leg up. Come see us at the Comedy Cellar, where I work frequently.
I'll be there at 2 a.m. on a Saturday talking to drunk people.
Yeah, and thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
This has been Lady Journey.